I'm Julie. Sitting in this coffee shop, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee fills the air, but my mind is far away. I look up and see him, Ryan. He stands near the register, alone. He looks smaller, not physically, but energetically. There's no charm in his posture, no confidence in his face. Our eyes lock for a split second, and then he looks away, grabs his coffee, and walks out. No confrontation, no closure speech, just a quiet retreat. And that's enough. It all started a few years ago. I grew up in a middle-class family. My parents were hard-working and honest. My father was a mechanic, and he taught me the value of hard work and integrity. My mother was a school teacher, and she instilled in me a love for learning and a sense of responsibility. I met Ryan at a mutual friend's party. He was in advertising, the kind of guy who could light up a room with his smile and charisma. People were drawn to him like moths to a flame. I, on the other hand, worked in accounting. My world was full of numbers, and I found comfort in their predictability. We started dating, and it was like a fairy tale at first. We were together for 3 years, and for a long time, it was perfect. We lived together for almost half of that time. We had our little routines: Sunday brunches, Thursday movie nights, and the occasional Saturday night out at a cozy wine bar. We'd sit on the couch and talk about our future, dreaming of getting married and having a family. But about 2 months ago, things started to change. Ryan began spending more time on his phone. He'd hide it when I walked by, tilt the screen away, and suddenly take calls in another room. At first, I told myself it was work. Advertising was a social field, and he had clients and campaigns to deal with. He'd say, "Babe, I'm swamped. Big project." I wanted to believe him because it was easier than facing the truth. Then came the irritability. He started picking fights over the silliest things. He'd get mad at me for the way I organized the pantry or because I didn't want to spend $300 on a fancy dinner for his work colleagues. One night, as I was folding laundry, he looked at me like I was a disappointment. "Don't you ever feel like you're in a rut?" he asked. I laughed it off, saying, "I think comfort is what life is about." But he didn't laugh back. "Julie, you don't challenge yourself. You're too stuck in your ways," he said. It felt like a rehearsed line, and I could sense he was trying to provoke me. I trusted my instincts, but I kept making excuses for him. I thought he was stressed, overworked, or just going through a rough patch. I never thought he was unfaithful. Then, one fateful Tuesday, everything changed. Ryan was in the shower. The sound of the water was drowning out everything else. His phone was on the nightstand, and it started buzzing. It wasn't the slow vibration of group texts, it was urgent. I thought it might be his mom or his boss, so I picked it up. The first message that popped up made my blood run cold. It was from a contact saved as Lily S. The message read, "Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you." My heart stopped. I knew this wasn't just a friendly message. I opened the thread, and what I found was a nightmare. There were weeks of texts, at first playful, then flirty, and finally explicit. There were hotel names, room numbers, and dates. And then, there was a photo of a hotel key card. Beneath it, half-cropped, was a receipt with the name Lily Sanders. Lily was Ryan's ex-girlfriend. He'd told me they were just a chapter in his past, a lesson learned. But now, she was back, and she was married with a child. I heard the shower turn off, and I snapped back to reality. I quickly took pictures of the texts with my phone, then put his phone back exactly where it was. I knew that if he was capable of this, he was capable of lying his way out of it. I needed proof. Ryan came out of the shower, looking relaxed and charming as always. "Morning, babe. Want to go for brunch?" he asked, smiling at me like nothing was wrong. I heard myself say, "Sure, brunch sounds good," even though inside, I was screaming. At brunch, he talked about a new restaurant he wanted to try in a friend's upcoming wedding. Every word felt like a lie. I realized that he could sit across from me and act like I didn't deserve the truth. I made a decision then. I wasn't going to confront him yet. I needed more evidence. After brunch, he said he was going to the gym. As soon as the door closed, I went to his laptop. It was open and still logged in. I had two options: confront him with what I'd seen and watch him twist the story, or gather more proof. I chose the latter. I typed hotel into the search bar of his email, and my stomach dropped. There were confirmations, receipts, and booking codes from 3 different hotels over the past 6 weeks. The name Lily Sanders kept appearing. I took screenshots of everything and forwarded them to myself. I created a folder and labeled it evidence. When Ryan came home, he was all smiles. He came behind me on the couch and put his arm around me. "What are you working on?" he asked. I let him kiss the top of my head, then I closed the laptop and looked at him. "Sit down," I said. He sat across from me, creating distance instinctively. I opened my laptop and turned it towards him. "Want to explain these?" I asked softly, showing him the hotel receipts. The color drained from his face. He tried to deflect, saying, "You went through my email? That's an invasion of privacy." I said, "I know you've been sleeping with Lily for at least 6 weeks. He scoffed, "That's crazy. It's not what you think." I stared at him. "It's exactly what I think. She's married, Ryan. Does her husband know?" He looked away, and I knew the answer. He tried to justify it, saying, "Her marriage is over. She's miserable." I asked, "Do you really believe that?" He snapped, "It feels real, more exciting than what we have." He then went for the jugular. "Maybe this is for the best. You're too rigid, too boring. You'd make a terrible wife," he said. I stood up and said calmly, "Get out. We're done." He laughed, thinking I was joking. "I live here. The lease is in my name," he said. I looked him in the eye and said, "Fine. I'll leave, but this isn't over." That night, I checked into a hotel. I sat on the bed and typed Lily Sanders into the search bar. I found her social media profile. There were pictures of her happy family, her husband, and her child. It was all a lie. I printed the receipts and wrote a note. "You deserve the truth before she lies again." I stared at the envelope for a long time. Sending it would change everything, but I knew it was the right thing to do. The next morning, I mailed the letter. As I walked away, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Ryan, "We'll talk when you calm down." I smiled because he still didn't understand. I wasn't angry, I was awake. The morning after, my phone started ringing and buzzing with texts. Unknown numbers were sending me angry messages. "You ruined everything. Who do you think you are?" I ignored them. Then, Ryan called. His voice was frantic. "What did you do, Julie?" "Lily's husband got the letter. He's going crazy." I said calmly, "He had a right to know." He hissed, "You're vindictive. This is insane." I reminded him, "You called me a terrible wife and tried to throw me out. And you want to lecture me about morals?" He then threatened me, saying, "If Lily goes down, she'll take people with her." I replied, "You should have thought about that before you got involved with a married woman." I ended the call and blocked his number. Later, my friend Sarah called. She was shaking as she said, "Julie, Lily is saying you're harassing her. She's trying to turn everyone against you." I wasn't surprised. Liars always attack the messenger. Sarah also told me that Lily's husband, Mark, wanted to meet me. He wanted to thank me and confirm the details. I agreed to meet him. Mark showed up at my apartment. He was in his mid-30s, with dark circles under his eyes. He held a small backpack and a tote bag. He looked broken. I let him in and offered him water. He sat on the edge of the chair, his hands shaking. He said, I got your letter. Thank you. I said, I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt you. He said, you didn't. You ended a lie. I told him the whole story, from the texts to the hotel receipts. He closed his eyes and said, she told me I was too safe, too boring. I nodded because I knew exactly how he felt. Mark said he'd already spoken to a lawyer and was filing for divorce. He was going for full custody and an asset freeze. I told him it was the right thing to do. After Mark left, the apartment felt different. It was clearer, like a weight had been lifted. Word spread quickly. Our mutual friends started reaching out, offering support. Ryan tried to send an apology through Sarah, but I knew it was just for show. He was sorry for being caught, not for what he'd done. 6 weeks later, I was back in my own place. I changed the locks, a physical symbol that his access to my life was over. 2 weeks after that, I got promoted at work. I was finally free from the emotional drain of Ryan's lies. Mark's divorce was finalized quickly. He got primary custody of his child, and the settlement was fair. He sent me a photo of him and his son at the park, with the caption New Beginnings. I was happy for him. And now, here I am, sitting in this coffee shop, watching Ryan walk away. People ask me if I regret sending that letter. The truth is, I don't. I did the right thing, even though it was hard. Real strength is standing up for what's right, even when it costs you comfort and love.